Good afternoon, everybody. Myself, Pratik, and I'll be teaching you few topics about Indian geography. Okay, in Indian geography, I'll be covering two aspects. One is the physical, and the other is the human geography. Fine. So let me introduce about myself. I've given three mains, and I've been working as a faculty since last 3 years. Okay. Initially, I was working at Vision IAS as a guest lecturer, where I was taking weekend batches. Okay. Basically, it was about a mentoring sessions. Okay, one-to-one mentoring used to be there of 40 students every weekend, and I've started about teaching the optional since last 2 years. Okay, and regarding the subject about geography, it is quite important. Sir has already taken an orientation lecture yesterday. I hope he has made all the points clear. The before starting, I'd like to make few things clear. I'm very punctual about the classes. Means if the classes starts at 2:30, okay, it will start at 2:30 only. So I assume that you people are in the class before 2:30. Okay, no need to come way too early. Okay, some of you are over here right at around 1:15. You can come. You can take your time, 10-15 minutes. Okay, if you're staying here in ORN, it hardly takes 10 minutes to reach over here. Fine. Now, the other thing is that how many of you over here have come with a motive of clearing this exam, of simply clearing this exam, UPSC Civil Service exam? Please raise your hand. All of you? Okay, almost all of you. This is quite important. See, because the thing is that you need to understand what the demand of this exam is. Fine. Because what has happened in the past is that few students, they come to the optional, they think that okay, it's an optional paper and I need to study this optional paper in quite depth. Okay, the theories and everything, I need to study all those theories in quite detail. But you need to understand one thing, that in the exam there are only 20-mark question, 15-mark question and 10-mark question. So whatever information that you are going to acquire over a period of time during your preparation of one to 1.5 years, okay, that information will be such large that you will find it very difficult to write answers in 2 to 3 pages. Okay, if you're talking about a 20-mark question, you're talking about a 20-mark question, you hardly get 3 pages to write. And that too comes with a marking, with a box. If you have seen the rough answer sheets which are available in the market, the UPC answer sheets, they come in a box. So the space that is available, it is quite limited. So whatever information that you're going to acquire, you just have to ensure that you know these things. Whatever theories that you will learn, you just need to understand those theories, and you have to literally mug up few points from those particular theories, and your job will be done. You need not keep on doing research on those particular theory. You need not go for any other extra material. Whatever notes that will be provided to you in the class, those are more than sufficient. Okay, now why I am stressing on this is because during my preparation I did this mistake. I didn't do my optional coaching from anywhere, so I was doing all sorts of research. I was studying n number of books. From there I was making my notes, and then I was revising those notes and literally mugging up few information. So when I went for the mains exam, I found that this was not helping me at all. In my first mains, I performed very badly, and I found that it was not helping me at all. Then I met one of my friend, Nimish Patil, if you have heard his name. He was the geography topper in 2019. Okay, so we sat together, we made good notes, we analyzed all the things where we were going wrong, and we realized that whatever we are having, it is more than sufficient. Whatever we are having, it is more than sufficient. Okay, so we need to stick for those things only. You need not run for n number of other things, because even if you're talking about a 20-mark question, you are getting hardly 3 pages, and in those 3 pages, what all theories you are going to write. For example, if you're talking about the ocean tide theories, okay, there are 4 theories in it. I won't talk all about this in detail, but just for your understanding, in ocean tides there are 4 theories. Now each theory is of almost 3 to 4 pages. So it is not feasible to write about the description about each and every theory in those 20 marks thing. So in that place, whatever theory you are going to, you just have to know what that theory is. Fine. Because in the previous classes, there was one student. His motive was not to clear the exam, but he came in over here to become a teacher in some college or some university. Now, with what mindset he was here, sorry, I was not able to get that. And he kept on asking n number of other things completely in quite detail, which wasted time of other students. Okay, so ensure that whatever you are getting the information, you stick to that information. Whatever notes that will be provided to you, you stick to those notes, and that will be more than enough to you. Fine. These are preparatory classes. Here we will be taking only an overlook of what actually the things are. But in optional, we will be discussing all the aspects in quite a detail. Fine. So whatever notes with respect to optional are, it will be provided during your optional classes. Fine. So let's start with our first thing. Do you have any questions, any of you? Okay. So we'll start with the introduction to physical geography of India. In this, first of all, I'll be talking about the location of India. What is the geopolitical location of India with respect to the world and the neighboring countries, the significance of the geopolitical location of India. Then, in the secondly, we will see the size of the country, India, the seventh largest country, then the extent of India, the latitudinal and the longitudinal extent of India. Fine. Then the third thing that we will be looking into is the physical features of India. The physical features, that is the mountains, plateaus, plains, coast, islands. Okay. Then next thing we will move on to is the drainage system of India. The drainage system of India, it is quite important both with respect to prelims as well as your mains. Okay, every time there is a question on the drainage system not just help us in understanding the water resource as such, but as well as all the human aspects. Okay, where there is going to be floods and which part of the year there is going to be floods. So drainage system becomes quite important. Then we will see the climate of India. Fine. After the climate of India, then we will move on to the natural vegetation and the wildlife resources of India. And finally, the soils of India. Fine. So these are the topics that I'll be covering in your physical geography of India. Fine. If you want, if you can just note these topics down, okay, so that while you're preparing, you ensure that you read only these topics. Okay, while you're preparing Indian geography, you read only these topics. Should I repeat them once again? First will be the geopolitical location of India, which we will be covering today. Second, the size and the extent of our country. Third is the physical features. Then next is the drainage system. Then we have the climate of India. Next is natural vegetation and wildlife of India. And last is the soils of India. So we will be dealing with these topics. These are basic, your all from your NCRT and all related to your syllabus. Okay. And one thing is that before coming to lecture, always ensure that you bring atlas with you. You can have any atlas, Orient Black Swan or either Oxford. Okay. Orient Black Swan is more preferred. I hope you have brought everyone. हमेशा डेस्क पे रखो. You're dealing with geography. You can share if you don't have. Yeah. Because whenever we are talking about the paper 2, usually this physical geography of India is related to paper 2 of your optional. Okay. And some of you might be here only with respect to GS as well. But ensure that you are carrying your map book every day, and ensure that you are carrying it in every classes, in any other GS classes also. If you are attending, ensure that you're carrying the map book, and always make a habit of going through the maps at least for 15 minutes every day. Always make a habit of going through the maps for 15 minutes every day. You can, if you're doing map of India, okay, you can go state wise for 15 minutes. You look into the state of, let's say, Uttar Pradesh, the major important places of Uttar Pradesh. So likewise you can cover all the states, the union territories, the physical features, as well as the world map as well. Okay, so ensure that you make a habit. It is very crucial, because not just with respect to geography optional, because in geography optional paper 2 first question is on maps. If you are aware, the first question is on map, a 20-mark map question. It is the only question in geography optional paper where you can score the highest marks. Okay, 20 marks mapping question is there, and usually people score on an average easily somewhere around 14 to 16 marks. But if you are attempting any other 20-mark question, you will find that the maximum that you will be scoring will be around 11 to 12 marks. Okay, I am also the paper evaluation head at Guidance IAS. Okay, so if you have any doubts, any queries regarding answer writings as well, you can come and ask me. Okay, and during the classes as well, I'll be taking questions on a daily basis, where initial stages you will find it very difficult to write the answers, but it is very important that you start writing, whether it is a GS or an optional paper, you start writing answers right from the first day. Okay, it is very very important that you practice answer writing right from the first day. You will find it very very difficult initially, but you all have been reading NCRT. Some of you might would have gone through the NCRT way before. At the end of the chapter you will find that there are few questions. Try to write the answers of those questions by looking into the book. I'm not asking you to write your answers by reading and then recalling and everything. I'm asking you, you read the chapter, you look at the question, you look at the content again, then you write the answer. Because initial focus should be on structuring of your answer. How you are going to structure, what you are going to write in the introduction, what will be in the body part, and what should be the way forward or the conclusion. Fine? So, question and answer writing will also be covered in your lectures. Fine. So, let's start with this. The first thing we will be looking is the geopolitical location of India and its significance. Geopolitical location of India and its significance. If you look at the map, I'm sorry, it is little bit blur because we have lost the Wi-Fi connection today. So that's why the pixels are getting stretched out. नहीं है ना वाईफाई अभी तक. टच भी नहीं हो रहा. Anyways, is it clear at the back? Or you can refer the map book in front of you. Fine. So if you look at the location of India on the world map, you will find that India has a very significant position when we talk about the Indian Ocean region. Okay, this region, this entire region, okay, it is the Indian Ocean region. This part right up till the northern edge of Antarctica. If you have, you can open the world map so that it is little bit clear. Same page, same same page. The bottom one, the geopolitical map of India. Okay, so this is the Indian Ocean region. So if you look carefully at the map of India, the India is the only country among all other bordering countries of the Indian Ocean which has a significant amount of land mass present in the Indian Ocean region. If you see the peninsular region of India, the peninsular part, peninsula means the land mass, the main land mass, which is protruding outward towards the water body. It is called as the peninsula. So if you look at the peninsular region of India, it is quite significant as compared to the other countries. Fine. Then the second important thing is the economy. If you look at the world, the major issues you will find it all takes place on the economy. Whatever issues, social issues, whatever political issues that are taking place all over the world, the conflicts and everything, the major concern is always the economy. Fine? It is always the economy. And if you talk about the Indian Ocean region, almost 75% of the world trade, 75% of the world trade, it takes place in this Indian Ocean region. 75%, 75% of world trade takes place in the Indian Ocean region. Note down this fact. And almost 50% of the oil, 50% of world oil trade, it also moves in the Indian Ocean region. 50% of the world oil trade, it also takes place in the Indian Ocean region. If you are aware, some of you might be aware that major oil producing countries of the world, rough idea, the Arab countries are the major oil producing countries. Middle East, the UAE, Oman, Saudi Arabia, okay, these are the major oil producing countries of the world. Okay, major oil reserves of the world can be found in these regions, and these all the countries, they are bordered with the Indian Ocean region. Okay, they are bordered with the Indian Ocean region. That's why 50% of the world oil trade, it takes place through the Indian Ocean region. And if you're talking about the trade, the major sea lanes, the major sea lanes, whenever the ships that are carrying oil or other goods from different countries, they are moving in the Indian Ocean region. Okay, they are moving in the Indian Ocean region along a specific path. For example, you talk about Pusa Road, okay, all vehicles moving all along the Pusa Road. So it is the main route. Just like that, we have major sea lanes in the sea, in the water bodies as well. It is not like it is an open ocean. चलो कहीं पर भी अपनी जहाज को मुड़ा देते कहीं पर भी लेकर चलते. It is not like that. All the ships that they move in a specific path. If they are carrying oil from, let's say, UAE through the Strait of Hormuz, there is a Strait of Hormuz towards the Mumbai region, it will move in a specific path. Okay. All the ships, they are moving, they will move in specific path. They will not move anywhere wherever they like. All the ships, they move along specific path along the sea lanes. Okay, it is quite important, because if any disaster happen on that particular ship, if it is not following the same path, then saving the people, saving the goods will be quite difficult. Okay, so that's why, plus there is also a risk of piracy in this region. There is high piracy risk in this region. Pirates of the Caribbean dekhe. Okay, just like that, there are pirates in Somalia over here. Okay, so this is a very high risk region. You will study later on in your lectures that the world organizations have classified few water bodies, few regions as the high risk areas, where there the captain of the ships, the ship crew, they have to take extra care while moving through those regions, or else their ship will be captured by the pirates and all the goods will be lost. So one such region is around the Somalia. So if you're talking about the Indian region, the major sea lanes are passing through India. Okay, there are important points called as the choke points. Choke points are narrow narrow regions on the world map. Okay, I'm talking about the world map, or you can say rather on the world. In the world, they are the narrow regions through which the important sea trade takes place. If this region, if you have seen in the news recently, there was a blockade in Suez Canal. याद है? Okay, all the ships, if you have seen the satellite imagery, all the ships, they were stuck over here. So can I say it is one of the choke point? Okay, so such regions where if any blockage will take place, it will hamper the entire trade, where it will hamper the entire trade of the world. Such points are called as the choke points. And if you look at the location of India, please tell me if I am fast or you are not getting any point. Okay, you can just simply raise your hand. If you look at the location of India, the Indian Ocean region, there is one choke point over here. There is one choke point over here. You can look into your map. There is a Strait of Hormuz. Hormuz Strait is there. Then there is Gulf of Aden over here. Gulf of Aden over here. Then at the other end, there is Malacca Strait over here. Indonesia, and between Malaysia, Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, there is Strait of Malacca over there. Okay, so if you look at the location of China, China is the world's largest exporting country. It exports, its economy is completely export oriented, export dominated economy, China. So, whatever exports that China, whatever the materials, goods that China exports, they all are carried through the Malacca Strait, okay, to different countries. They all are carried from here to India, to other place, other countries, then over here, then here. Okay. So if you see, as I've said, 75% of the world trade is taking place through Indian Ocean region. And the only country that is having a significant landmass in the Indian Ocean region is the India. So the location of India becomes quite important. Fine. Then next aspect, if you talk about, is the military aspect, the security aspect. If you look at the map, in the Indian Ocean region, there are n number of islands present. There are some islands present. Okay, there is Seychelles over here. There is Diego Garcia over here. Okay, this Chagos archipelago. If you see clearly, there might be Diego Garcia in the map. Diego Garcia, you find it? It's a US military base. Now, since the Indian Ocean region is quite important, so every other major power like USA, China, Russia, they all want to control this region in some or the other way. So, what they have done is they have established their military and naval bases in the Indian Ocean region. For example, at Diego Garcia, there is a naval base of USA. It is here somewhere. Okay, there is a naval base of USA. India is building a military base in Seychelles at Assumption Island. Okay, then we also have naval base at Madagascar. We have it at Maldives. Okay, then if you talk about Russia, even Russia has a naval base at around Socotra Island. Okay, India also has a naval base in Oman. Fine. So it is very important that we have to maintain the security of the Indian Ocean region. That's why the different major powers have established their naval bases and military facilities in the Indian Ocean region. Have you heard about One Belt, One Road initiative of China? सुना है? So in that, the one belt is nothing but it is the road. One belt is the road that China is constructing in different regions of the world, and it is trying to connect so that if in future, if this Malacca Strait through which its major trade is taking place, if let's say both these countries they decide to block the Malacca Strait for China, will its good be able to pass? Will China receive the oil import that it receives from the West Asia? It won't receive. That's why these choke points they are quite significant. That's why China is building one belt road initiative. That is, the second thing is the belt. In belt initiative, it is building different port facilities called as the string of pearls. It is building different port, military, naval, as well as economic port facilities. Fine. If you have heard about Gwadar port, सुना है ग्वादार पोर्ट? अगर नहीं सुना है, if you have not heard, go home, check about it. There is Gwadar port which is being built by China in Pakistan. Fine. Just near to that we have India is constructing in Iran Chahabar port. Okay, so this is to ensure the freedom of navigation, the freedom of trade, and ultimately the freedom of economy. Fine. So all these things is taking place in the Indian Ocean region. That's why the geopolitical location of India is quite significant. Fine. If you talk about the West Asian connectivity, if you talk about the connectivity to China, if you talk about connectivity to Southeast Asia, okay, the India is the country which is having a very significant presence. Fine. So this is about the geopolitical location of India. Fine. So I'll just revise everything once again. First, you'll always ensure whenever you are asked about any significant, always try to segregate points into different way. For example, you will focus on economy, then you can talk about the military security, then you can talk about the social and cultural aspects. Okay, so always make a habit of segregating every topic into different aspects. That will help you in recalling the points in a better way. So if I give a question to you people to write about the geopolitical significance of India, will you be able to write it? Okay, so I'll give you 5 minutes. I'll give you a question. I'll give you 5 minutes. Just try to write whatever you think of. Okay, whatever you think of, try to write it. Illustrate the significance of India. Illustrate the significance of India in the global geopolitics. In the global geopolitics. I'll give you 5 minutes. Write anything that you feel like. Write it in your own words. Cancel करना वो. क्लिक करना. क्लिक करना बस. Even if you're writing 5 to 6 line, it is more than enough. Okay, but ensure that you are writing. Done. See, why I have made you people write is because during my preparation time, these were the mistakes that I did. Okay, during my first attempt, I was mostly focusing on prelims. Okay, and at that time, I didn't clear in my first attempt. In second attempt, I had that anger that I was not able to clear the prelim, so I focused completely on prelims and completely left the answer writing part. I cleared the prelims. Also cleared the forest prelims. But the thing was that when I went for the mains, I was completely lost. And this exam is totally about answer writing and the mains marks. I've been mentoring one student, Utkarsh Dwivedi, since 2019. Since his first attempt, he is giving interview. Even this year, he is giving interview. He gave interview on 20th of April. The thing was that whatever mistakes I did, I ensured that he do not commit those mistakes. So right from his first attempt, I always told him, you are going to practice answer writing. Okay, we were in means while I was in working at Vision, he was over there. In his first test of ethics, when he gave the first test of ethics, he scored 36 marks out of 250. 36 marks out of 250. But I motivated him, I forced him to keep on writing. He did write few tests after that, and in the exam he scored 136 marks. 136 marks in ethics. It was 2020. Fine. So he's giving interviews right since first attempt. So here in institutes, you always have to learn from someone else's mistake what you should not do and what are the good things that you should always do. So answer writing is the key. There are n number of people, those who are scoring tremendously good marks in mains, because you never know what will happen in the interview. Okay, but you ensure that you are scoring good marks in the in the mains itself, because rank 1 of 2020, his main score was 940 something. Fine, but in the interview he is hardly scoring, I think it is below average, 158 marks. 158 marks, so he was below average, but his main score was so much that it balanced out everything. Okay, and I am not some university teacher or something. I am was a UPSC aspirant just like you. I am already 32 now. Fine. So learn from the mistakes which I have committed. During my mains, while I was writing mains, I suddenly stopped receiving money from my home due to certain financial stuffs. I won't like to discuss all those things. And I was completely lost. And then the cycle kept on happening of not, I was not able to join any test series. But right since then, I started working. And because of the work pressure and preparation, everything, it never went in simultaneously. So ensure that you're doing answer writing practice right from the first day. Whatever you are able to write. Whatever you are able to write, but write. Even if you are writing 4 to 5 lines, it's a good thing. Fine. Shall we move ahead? So, in this question, first of all, you can talk about the location of India. You can write that India has a significant landmass present in the Indian Ocean region, okay, as compared to the other countries. Then, second thing, you can talk about the trade. Fine. The trade, almost I've given you some factual data. Okay. You can talk about the trade. You can quote those factual information. And that's why the Indian Ocean region, the location, the major sea lanes, they pass through the Indian Ocean region just around India. That's why it is important. And third thing, you can talk about the security aspect. Fine. So all these things make India a quite significant country in the Indian Ocean region and overall the Asia as well. Okay. Why USA is always wanting India? Why USA always wants the support of India? Because USA knows that India is the only country which can counter China. Chinese economy has recently crossed the US economy. As I've said, all the major issues all around the world that takes place only around the economy. The Chinese economy has almost crossed. It is around $20 trillion. Fine. And if you talk about the Asia, there is only one country that can counter China. That is India to some extent, at least to some extent. India is having 3 trillion, but I'm talking about countering China in terms of military. Okay. They are aiding India some or the other way. Okay, they are trying to provoke India against China in some or the other way. Okay, there are issues going on in the Xinjiang province of China. Then it also, you are already aware about the Taiwan. Okay, China considers Taiwan as one China policy. ये आगे जाके पढ़ोगे आप, ठीक है? अभी right now it will be quite difficult. Some of you are already aware of all those issues, but for others it will come. So Taiwan is a complete different country. USA is also pushing India to recognize Taiwan as an independent country. Fine. So some or the other diplomatic ways में होता है. See, China's expenditure on defense is somewhere around $300 billion. India's expenditure is increasing day by day. It is somewhere around 75 to $80 billion. Fine. Slowly and steadily, it is increasing. But USA is pushing India to buy more weapons. Fine. USA is pushing. See, if you look at the economy of USA has trade deficit with India. Some of you might be aware, USA has $20 billion trade deficit with India. You can just imagine the one of the largest, now you can say one of the largest economy of the world, that is USA. It is having trade deficit with India. Fine. It is because USA is the major part of the economy of the USA comes from the supply of arms and weapons. Agar if there is peace everywhere, the arms and weapons supply will be lost. Okay, so the major economy of the USA will collapse. Fine. So it is pushing India. Why there are sanctions? Do not buy S-400 from Russia. S-400 नाम सुना होगा न्यूज में, ठीक है? So why all this sanctions and everything? So it is some or the other way, diplomatic way, they try to push us. Fine. We are not in a position to counter China immediately in any way. Okay, but at least theoretically to hai. Practically we might not be, but at least theoretically we are. If in case nationalism topic is such hot nowadays, Okay, if the leader says to go and attack China, every person will be ready. Fine. So that's the thing. So, anyways, no politics, please. So, but geopolitics is important. Fine. So, if you're talking about India, there is West Asia, which is the major oil supplier to India. Fine. Major oil supplier not just to India, but also to Southeast Asia and the East Asian countries. Fine. So, all this makes the location of India quite important. Any doubts, any queries in here? See, choke point is, now we all know Saudi Arabia is one of the major supplier of oil. Fine. So whatever oil that Saudi Arabia is supplying, it will be from its ports through these regions. Okay. Let's say it is supplying to India itself. Now, if you see the distance between the two land masses over here, this passage of water body, it is quite narrow. Okay, on the map it is quite small, but overall in terms, if you see, it is quite narrow. If you talk about the Suez Canal, one ship, it just it got disoriented, and just because of one ship, the entire sea route was blocked. Okay, so that block, that choking. So can I say that choking is occurring in this places? Can I call it these points as the choke points? If tomorrow, actually here it is not completely UAE, it is the northern part is of Oman. Okay, there is a small territory. If you look into map closely, it is Oman. Let's say tomorrow Oman and Iran signs an agreement. They both are independent sovereign countries. They have their own rights to decide what is good for their country. If tomorrow they say that okay, we are building a roadblock over here, we are building a bridge and we'll place some stone blocks in those, this entire route will be completely blocked, it will be completely choked. So these narrow passages, they are called as the choke points. Fine. In the Indian Ocean region, there are quite such places. There is one place, the Babel Mandeb Strait. Okay. Then there is a Hormuz Strait. Okay. Gulf of Aden is there. There is Babel Mandeb Strait. So here we have Malacca Strait. So these are the choke points. You block these points, entire trade will be blocked, because major trade, it takes place via sea routes. Okay, because it is most cheap and economical. Fine. That's why these points, they are called as the choke points. Ensure that you are going through all the important choke points of the world in your map. Okay, because it will help you for your exam point of view. Mapping is quite important, in fact. If you are aware of the map, most of the things will be solved, even about climate and everything. So you are aware of the map, physical as well as the political map, you'll understand the issues quite easily. Okay, there is Djibouti over here. Okay, such a small country, but you will find that there are military bases and naval bases of three countries over here. China has recently acquired space from Djibouti. They are paying handsome amount. You can see the location of Djibouti. It is hardly such a small country. What sort of economy it might be having? How it is going to help provide social goods to its citizens, food and everything. So what they do is they provide space to these countries. USA, France, and China. They have their base over there. They provide space to these countries on lease, okay, from which they get a good amount of money. If you're talking about the Suez Canal, it is owned by Egypt. It earns somewhere around 9 to 10 billion dollars every year, only through the tolls that it collects from the ships that are passing through the region. Fine. So all these things makes India a quite significant place in the world. Eh, Go through the map. See, if you are asking directly about the land borders, okay, land borders we all know Pakistan, Afghanistan. Afghanistan also bordered with India, okay. Then we have China, then Bhutan, Nepal, Bangladesh, Myanmar. Fine. But usually we do not consider these Sri Lanka and the Maldives as having a neighboring country. They are the neighboring countries, but we do not have a land boundary directly with them. Fine. So whenever any land boundary question is asked, you stick to only the upper countries only. Okay, fine. Neighboring countries, if it is asked, then you can mention Sri Lanka and Maldives. In fact, in next topic that we will be talking about the Indian subcontinent. Okay, there was a question this year as well in GS paper one about the Indian subcontinent. Fine. So most of the people they weren't not aware which countries are part of the Indian subcontinent. Okay, in NCRT, again, NCRT is the key. NCRT, it is directly mentioned the Indian subcontinent comprises of Pakistan, India, Nepal, Bhutan, and Bangladesh. Okay, it is clearly, very clearly mentioned. Fine. It does not include Sri Lanka, it does not include Maldives. Fine. Now, why India is called as the Indian subcontinent, we'll talk all these things in the next lecture. Anyone has any doubts again with respect to this? See, these both are very different things. Okay, choke point is an English word, fine, and strait is a narrow passage of, it is a geographical term. Strait is a geographical term. It is a narrow passage of sea lanes, okay, present in the major water bodies. Fine. Strait is a geographical term. Strait can be a choke point. Usually straits are a choke point because they are quite narrow. Fine. Any other queries? That's it. Shall we move ahead? Fine. The, the next thing that we will be looking into is the location. We have seen the location, the extent and the size of India. The extent and the size of India. In fact, this is your second lecture, but if you talk about India, India is called by different names. India is called by various names like Hindustan, Bharat. Okay. In the ancient time, it was also called as the Aryavrat, that is the land of the Aryans. Bharat from comes the name comes from the Bharata tribes, okay, which the indigenous Bharata tribes which resided in India during the ancient times. This name is mentioned in the Rig Vedas, okay, Aryavrat Bharatvarsh. Then, if you're talking about Indian polity, the first article itself, it says, India, that is Bharat, shall be a union of state. So, officially, if you talk about the name of India, it is both India as well as the Bharat. If you talk about the word India, it is derived from the Greek literature word. Greek literature word Indoi. Indoi means the people residing in and around the Indus Valley region, the Indus River region. Indus Valley civilization, you'll study in your history, ancient history. Okay, so in the ancient times, trade was conducted, then there were quite a lot of invasions, the Greek invasions taking place. If you are aware about Alexander, in your GS, you'll learn about ancient history. Alexander invaded India, okay, in 326 BCE, and the connections were established between India and the Greece. So the ancient Greek literature, they have talked about India, okay, India, the people living in and around the Indus Valley region. Fine. Then it is also said that it is derived, this Indus word, Indus, it is derived from the word Sindhu. The Vedas mention about the river Sindhu. Okay, the Greeks, they were not able to pronounce it in a better way, so they pronounce it as Indus. Okay, from Indus came Indoi, from Indoi came the word India. Fine. These are little basic things. It won't be asked anywhere. Fine, but you should be aware as a UPSC aspirant. You should be aware. Fine. Then next thing is the extent of India. India is the seventh largest country in the world. Okay, if you talk about the area wise, India is the seventh largest country in the world. The area of India is around 3.28 million square kilometers. Okay, it is somewhere around 3 lakh 32 lakh 87,263 square kilometer. It is the seventh largest country after Russia, Canada, China, USA, Australia, Brazil. Sorry, Brazil, then Australia, then India. Fine. So, area wise, India is the seventh largest country in the world. Then, are you aware of the latitudes and the longitudes? What are latitudes and longitudes? If you're not, please, देखो किसी से डरना नहीं है यहाँ पे. ऑल आर सेम एज, ठीक है, सब किसी से कभी डरना नहीं. कुछ वॉट एवर योर क्वेश्चंस आर, यू कैन आस्क एनी टाइम. फाइन. क्लास के बाद पूछ सकते हो, क्लास के टाइम भी पूछ सकते हो. नो नीड टू बी स्केर्ड और फियर्ड ऑफ एनी वन. ठीक है, नो मैटर वॉट टाइप ऑफ क्वेश्चन इट इज. And this advantage you'll get only in my class. Himanshu sir won't tolerate those many questions, but you are always free to ask anytime any question. I'll just tell you in brief. If this is the earth, okay, the latitudes, they are imaginary lines. So these are the imaginary lines present on the earth. Okay, the horizontal lines, they are called as the latitudes. Okay, there is 0 degree latitude. Then we have a tropic of Cancer at 23 and a half degree, sorry, 23 and a half degree. We have tropic of Capricorn. Okay, so I hope you are aware of these. अगर नहीं है तो please you can just raise your hand. Fine. So the horizontal parallel lines, the horizontal imaginary parallel lines. Okay, there are no such exact line on the surface of the earth. These are just for our reference. Okay, the horizontal imaginary parallel lines on surface of the earth, they are called as the latitudes. Then similarly, we have longitudes. Okay, these are the vertical lines that are originating from the poles. Fine. We have, is there anyone who is completely new to geography? Is there anyone? लगता था. Fine. Completely new to geography. If If you are, you can, because cartography. Fine. Anyone? See, if you are completely new, some of them might be from engineering background. At times it happens that you are completely unaware, because there will be lot of concepts which you have to imagine, especially when we talk about the interior of the earth and all. Okay, so you have to have that imaginary mindset, so it becomes little bit difficult. So that I will be able to pay some extra attention while explaining. That's why I asked this question. अगर ऐसा कुछ है तो you can come up and let me know. Fine. So the vertical lines, they are called as the longitudes. Fine. The earth is a globular in nature. Fine. So we have 360-degree complete circle. Fine. So 360-degree longitudes we have, and we have the latitudes from 0 to 90 degree in both the hemispheres. Fine. 0 to 90 degree in both the hemispheres. Fine. So if you talk about the location of India, okay, if you talk about the location of India, it lies completely in the northern hemisphere. Fine. It lies completely in the northern hemisphere. You see here there is equator. Okay, here there is equator, and just little bit higher to the equator, the location of India is completely in the northern hemisphere. The extent of India, if you talk about the mainland of India, the mainland of India, it extends from 8 degree 4 minute north 8 degree 4 minutes north latitude. When I'm saying mainland, means this portion. Okay, this mainland. And when I'm talking about India as a whole, I also include islands in it. Okay, when I'm saying mainland, only the mainland region, but when I'm saying about the India as a whole, there will be islands as well. वो चालू कर देना प्रोजेक्टर. There will be islands as well. So if you're talking about the mainland India, it extends from 8 degree 4 minutes north. Here we have 8 degree 4 minutes north to 37 degree to 37 degree 6 minutes north latitude. Okay, so the southern tip of India is located at 8 degree 4 minute north, and the northern tip of India, sorry for this, the northern tip of India 37 degree 6 minute north. Fine. But if you're talking about the islands as well, we have the Andaman and Nicobar Island and the Lakshadweep group of island. These are the two major group of island which belong to India. Fine. The Andaman and Nicobar Island, it extends from 6 degree 45 minutes north here, 6 degree 45 minutes north. So if you talk about the actual location of India, latitude wise, it extends from 6 degree 45 minutes north to 37 degree 6 minutes north. Fine. So this is the latitudinal extent of India. How to locate? Simply draw dots. See, exactly where you can draw is you have to take a scale. Fine. Scale in the sense, not scale means for one time what you can do is whatever the easternmost point is there, okay, we know that the easternmost, I'll come to it, in fact, the easternmost point of India is in Arunachal Pradesh. Okay. So if when you are drawing the map of India, you have to show Andaman and Nicobar Island. Most of the time what people get confused is that it those islands, they are quite far away, so they might be further away from the easternmost point of India. But no, that's what I said. You look at the map very closely and clearly. I don't know why, because of lack of internet, this is not happening. But if you look at the location, you will find that it is little bit inwards. Okay. So whenever you are drawing the map of India, you need to practice drawing map of India thoroughly. Okay. You need to practice drawing map of India thoroughly, because in your exam you will, in especially in paper 2, it will be very helpful and it will help you fetch good marks if you're drawing maps properly. You need not draw it exactly, but a rough map is okay. But just ensure that some things you are very clear and precise about. For example, कश्मीर को उड़ा मत देना, ठीक है, किसी और का अपना ही है, पूरा कश्मीर अपना है, ठीक है. Then see, he has shown Andaman Nicobar Island. You have to ensure that it does not extend beyond the easternmost boundary. Okay, now it has crossed the easternmost boundary. You have to ensure that it is little bit inwards. Similarly, Lakshadweep, when you are drawing, it is quite near from the Kerala. Okay, so it is quite near, just make few dots, but ensure that it is not extending the westernmost boundary of India, that is Gujarat. Okay, Gujarat is the westernmost state of India. तो उससे थोड़ा सा अंदर रखना and little bit higher. Fine. And when you're drawing Andaman and Nicobar Island, if, as I said, the southernmost point of India, okay, is in the Andaman and Nicobar Island, it is also called as the Indira Point. The southernmost point, it is also called as the Indira Point or the Pygmalion Point. I'll just, sorry for the wrong pronunciation. I'll just write the spelling. Fine. So ensure that Andaman and Nicobar Island, you are showing it little bit inwards. Fine. Inwards means towards little bit west of the easternmost boundary. Fine. And practice drawing map almost for, you can say, around 40-50 times. Maps is quite crucial for paper 2. In every aspect you can write your answer with the help of map. And some of you might be facing problem of writing speed as well, because in 7 minutes you have to write the 10-mark answer. In 10 to 12 minutes you have to write the 15-mark answer, and for 20-mark answer you get somewhere around 15 to 16 minutes. In that time period you have to write the answer with a good presentation. But if you are showing it diagrammatically with the help of map, it saves a lot of time. Okay, it saves a lot of time. Now when I said about, gave you a question about the geopolitical location of India, it is always expected from you people to draw the map. Okay, with the help of map itself you can show how important India is when it comes to the global map, when it comes to the global geopolitics. Fine. These skills and everything, it will come to you slowly and steadily. But few things that you need to start right from now is writing and practicing map and diagrams. Fine. How you can do it. That's why all these things should be done right from the start of your preparation. And I will ensure that I give you an enough number of questions for every topic, so that you will be you able to brainstorm yourself that how I can write it in a better way. Okay? Fine. So this is about the latitudinal extent of India. Then, if you're talking about the longitudinal extent, the easternmost part of India, that is Arunachal Pradesh, it is around 96 degree. 96 degree. I'll just get the exact location. Sorry, 97 degree 25-minute east. 97 degree, the easternmost location of India, that is Arunachal Pradesh. It is 97 degree 25-minute east. And the westernmost point of India, it is 68 degree 7-minute east. So here 68 degree 7-minute east, here 97 degree 6 minute, sorry, so India, if you're talking about the world, it lies completely in the eastern hemisphere. Okay, so the location of India is, it lies completely in the northeastern hemisphere, can I say that? Okay, in the northern hemisphere and in the eastern hemisphere. You are aware of the 0 degree prime meridian? Prime meridian, see, few people might be aware, some might not be aware. अगर नहीं पता है तो प्लीज आप डायरेक्टली पूछ सकते हो. Okay, no need to be scared of anything. On the globe of the world, okay, on the globe, there are these imaginary vertical lines. One such line, it passes through the Greenwich. Okay, it is near London. Fine. UK, London. Most of the scientific work in the middle centuries, they all was done in the West European countries. That's why they got the credit of deciding which place where to mark the 0 degree prime meridian. So obviously they chose their own country. Okay, so they chose their own country, and because of that, the 0 degree prime meridian is passing through the Greenwich, and India is lying east of the Greenwich 0 degree prime meridian. Fine. So India completely lies in the eastern hemisphere and in the northern hemisphere. Any question or any doubts in here? Okay. So I think I'll stop for today. Okay. We'll be continuing with tomorrow. Okay. Same time, 2:30. So that I don't want to give you a lot of on the first day itself. Okay. And you are always welcome. If you have any doubts, any queries regarding anything, you are always welcome. Fine. But ensure that whatever is being provided to you, you means information, you follow those things. Make a habit of going through the map on a daily basis for 15 minutes. Fine. Then whatever the news you people might be reading on a daily basis, try to locate and try to relate it with India. Okay. Russia Ukraine war is going on, why it is significant for India. Everything that you will be studying for this exam, always ensure that you have the mindset what impact it might have on India. Always have one mindset of thinking that what impact it might happen on India, because you are giving exam of UPSC, Indian exam you are giving, and UPSC will always ask you a questions, only and only those questions which relate to India. It won't ask you something very irrelevant unless and until it is having very significant impact on India. Fine. So always ensure that you have the WH mindset. You people are new into your preparation. Okay. ऐसा कोई है जिसने एक दो अटेम्प्ट दिए हैं एंड नाउ ही और शी इज हियर? आपने दिए हैं? फाइन. If you have anything, you can ask. Okay, fine. It happens because the thing is that, as I said, even I wasted a lot of time during my first attempt preparing all the notes. Then I had the chance of joining any coaching, but I already had all the information, so I just neglected, which was a blunder from my end. Because the thing is that geography is such a vast subject, okay, and if you are utilizing the content and the information in next 5 months that will be provided to you in a better way, you'll find that it is not just about the 500 marks. In GS paper 1 this year, 110 marks were from the geography section. I have already uploaded a video on our guidance channel itself on answer writing, how to write answers, especially when it comes to geography, what type of content. Now, from few of your seniors, you might would have heard that GS paper है, general है, सब general लिखना होता है. I hope it is okay if I'm using Hindi in between. ठीक है? Fine. So it is not like that. Every answer can be made objective. Okay. Every answer can be made objective, and you have to write objective answers in your examination. It will come only and only if you are practicing it on a regular basis, if you are using the right content and you are making your notes in a quite precise manner. Fine. For example, we are all aware about, let's say, Niti Ayog. Okay. Niti Ayog brings up n number of reports every year. It does survey, it does all the analysis of different aspects, the social, economic, political, different aspects it studies, and it comes with its own reports. So while writing your answer, suppose you are writing a social answer in your GS paper 1, people will end up writing all general things. Okay, there is poverty, there is high level of poverty in India, the income is quite low. Okay, people are facing food shortages and everything. But if you're writing as per Niti Ayog report, as per Niti Ayog report, there are 20% people living below poverty line. So this enhances your answer. It shows that this answer has come up from a future administrator. Okay, you are the future administrator. If you go outside and ask some person, and he'll say the inflation is rising quite a lot. Oil के rate काफी बढ़ रहे हैं. Okay, so the inflation is high and everything. But if you are writing as per the RBI report, the CPI, the consumer price index, or you can say simply inflation, these are little bit technical. Some of you might be aware, but majority are not. So you can say, as per RBI, the inflation in India is about 6%. So this enhances your answer. So always ensure that whatever you are reading in your newspapers on a daily basis, whatever you are reading with respect to your GS things, okay, you always make sure you are giving some substantial backing to that content by relevant authorities. Okay, World Economic Forum, World Bank. So all these are going to be. So whenever you are making notes, okay, always have a WH mindset. WH means why it is happening, where it is happening, what impacts it is going to have on India. So all that you are going to study in your future things from here onwards, okay, always have such mindset. Not just simply coming, understanding, and going. Okay? Because you are the future administrators. Fine? But ensure you are practicing it on a daily basis, everything. ठीक है? एक टाइम टेबल बना लेना. ठीक है? इज देयर एनीवन हु इज हियर कि यार एक साल तो बस क्लासेस करने, फिर अगले साल देख लेंगे क्या होगा? ऐसा कोई है क्या? होते हैं, मिले मुझे बहुत यहाँ पर ऐसे. यार एक दो साल तो है, अटेम्प्ट 6 अटेम्प्ट है, एक दो साल तो मजे करेंगे फिर बाद में. प्लीज डो नॉट हैव एनी सच सॉर्ट ऑफ माइंडसेट. ठीक है? Prepare right from the first day. Try to utilize your time right from the first day. Make a proper timetable. Okay? और कुछ दिन की बात है, once you have a proper timetable and a schedule, you start working as per your schedule. बहुत मजा है इसमें. Okay, this preparation will give you so much of knowledge, so much of information. I'm an IT engineer. I've worked for 3 years. Then I landed up over here. Okay. And while I was working in my office, once my manager simply asked, in 2008, there was this crisis going on. Okay. So, what is inflation? At that time, this question came to me, and मुझे नहीं पता. But today, if someone asks, I can deliver at least a 1 hour lecture on entire inflation. So that's the thing. UPSC will help you. This preparation will help you and provide you with tremendous knowledge and information. Try to utilize it in a proper way. Okay. One example, if you're talking about the geography itself, there is one administrator from Odisha. Okay. If you know that every year there are cyclones taking place in the Bay of Bengal, we will be studying all these things in detail. Okay, there are cyclones taking place in this region. So what is the duty of an IS officer? He has to ensure that whenever the cyclone is there, it is not his duty to go and explain कि यार cyclone कैसे generate हुआ है. ठीक है, साइक्लोन कैसे जनरेट हुआ है, कितने बजे आएगा, कितने बजे जाएगा. इट इज नॉट हिज ड्यूटी. हिज ड्यूटी इज ओनली टू एंश्योर द सेफ्टी ऑफ द पीपल and then the infrastructure. Okay, so and one officer is there, the chief minister of Odisha. He always ensures that whenever the cyclone is there, whenever cyclone is going to hit the coast of Odisha, he will always post him at that location, and he'll ask the DM to take all the precautionary measures. And since 1999, in 1999 there was a super cyclone when thousands of people lost their lives. But if you see in the recent years, you'll hardly find that only one or two people die. Okay, इवन दे डाई बिकॉज उनको मस्ती रहती है बाहर जाके सेल्फी लेने की. इतना बड़ा तूफान आ रहा है. हाँ? Now technology has also improved. Okay, technology has also improved. So he ensure that all the safety precautions are there. और उसी का तो मतलब these are the way you are going to utilize your knowledge. Fine. So when you are studying, just keep one thing in mind, that I am studying only with respect to exam. But what are the way forwards? What are the challenges and what are the way forward? Those are more important to you, because in future you will be taking steps accordingly to save the people. Okay, if there is a heat wave now going on in northern plains, so there is a specific criteria when a heat wave is classified. Fine, 40-degree temperature in the plain regions, if the temperature exceeds 40 degrees Celsius, it is classified as the heat wave. Now from the meteorological department, if you are suppose the DM of Karol Bagh, he is not going to come to you with a thermometer, sir temperature check karo aur batao heat wave hai ya nahi. Okay, so that is not going to be the case. You just have to ensure, okay, heat wave, the IMD will be declaring the red alert and everything, but you as a DM, you just have to ensure in future how I can ensure that the temperature do not rise to a very high level. Fine, plantation of trees, everything. So those are the steps which an administrator have to take. So while studying these topics, always have this mindset that as what steps you are going to learn over here. There will be different n number of theories and everything, but those are only with respect to your exam. बस exam clear करने के लिए है और किसी चीज के लिए नहीं है. Unless and until you want to pursue PhD after this thing as well. किसी को PhD करना है क्या geography में? करना है. That's nice. I'm doing my MA because in geography side by side. So it's a good thing. Learning is always a good thing. So that's it from my end. If you have anything, any doubts, any queries regarding how to start your preparation from here onwards, you can ask. Okay. If you have any other coachings as well going on, so how to manage time and everything, but ensure whatever timetable that you're making, you follow those things. Fine. So tomorrow we'll continue with the location of India in detail, where we will see the extent of India. Fine. All the latitudinal distance, the longitudinal distances, and also we'll start with the physical features of India. Fine. So that's it from my end.